Welcome to Footprints for Tomorrow, a podcast series brought to you by Pampanga State Agricultural University. Today's episode focuses on forging partnerships for progress by collaborating across sectors to develop sustainable solutions.
What a fantastic day together with our panel, joining us to explore this crucial topic. She came from California, United States, and studied at University of California, Berkeley. We're honored to have Jessica Tuazon from Forest and Conservation Technician here to discuss environmental sustainability.
Additionally, we'll gain insights from Nina Vince Mercado from Australia, a commodity trader graduated at the University of Geneva, and Suma Pumeldes who can share perspectives on economic factors and responsible business practices.
And rounding out our panel is Liana May Torres, an agriculturist who's from South Sudan, will provide valuable expertise on sustainable farming methods and food security. Graduate as College of Agriculture cum laude.
By bringing together voices from different sectors, we aim to highlight the importance of collaborative efforts in tackling complex challenges and achieving long-lasting positive change.
So, let's dive right in. Our guests have a wealth of knowledge to share on forging impactful partnership for a more sustainable future.
For you, Miss Jessica, what is sustainable development?
So, for me, sustainable development encompasses the responsible management of resources and system para ma-meet yung needs of the present without the comprising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. So, it involves balancing the economic, social, environmental considerations para they can ensure the long-term prosperity and well-being for all. So as part of this holistic approach, it is crucial para i-recognize yung role ng influential entities like the United States of America.
Okay, I see. What about our commodity trader? For you, sir, what is sustainable development?
For me, sustainable development aims to balance economic growth, social equity, and environment protection, ensuring current needs are met without compromising future generations' ability to meet theirs.
Oh, I see that sustainable development is about developing our world for a better world. Now, I want to know how does our agriculturists define sustainable development?
Sustainable development is a concept that seeks to meet the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. And it involves balancing economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection to ensure long-term prosperity and well-being for all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Now, we want to know what are the resources that the world uses the most that are very much needed from your country?
So for the United States, since it is a constitution-based federal republic comprising of 50 states, naging bansag ito as the world's largest economy driven by technological prowess. So major exports including yung mga computers, vehicles, chemicals, food, live animals, and military equipment. Additionally, ang US nagpo-possession ng abundant natural resources. So being the top global producer of oil, natural gas, and having the largest coal reserves. So ang wealth sa mga resources, inallow niya yung mga American companies para makapag-access sila ng materials inexpensively, particularly sa mga western regions.
The United States is truly a powerhouse. Its economic strength, fueled by cutting-edge technology and innovation, is impressive. And with such rich natural resources, it's no wonder American companies have historically thrived with access to inexpensive materials, especially out west. What an incredible blend of industry and natural wealth. What about Russia? What do you mean by sustainable development?
Russia is among the world leading producer of oil, extracting about one fifth of the global total. It is also responsible for more than one-fourth of the world total natural gas output. The great bulk of oil and natural gas comes from the huge fields and underlie the northern part of the West Siberia region. Another significant source of reserve in the Volga-Ural zone, and the remainder is derived mainly from the Komi-Okta field or North region. The North Caucasus region was the Soviet Union's leading producer. Is now of little importance. Extensive pipeline system like production sites to all regions of the country, the neighboring former Soviet republics, and across the western frontier, numerous European countries.
Oh, wow! That's really interesting. Russia is indeed a global energy powerhouse, producing a significant portion of the world's oil and natural gas. The massive field in West Siberia and Volga-Ural zone are crucial to this output. Well, according to what you have said, while regions like Komi-Ukta still play a role, it's fascinating how the extensive pipeline system efficiently distribute these resources across the country and into Europe, showcasing Russia's strategic importance in global energy markets. Given Russia's extensive natural gas production, how has this impacted its relationship with neighboring countries in Europe?
Russian natural gas production has significantly influenced its geopolitical relationship. The extensive pipeline network ensure a steady supply to neighboring former Soviet republics and many European countries, making them heavily reliant on Russian energy. This dependency gives Russia considerable leverage in political and economic negotiation, often making energy supply a critical aspect of its foreign policy. However, it also leads to conflict dynamic as countries seek to balance their energy need with political consideration, leading to effort to diversity their energy source to reduce reliance on Russia gas.
Absolutely. It's clear that Russia's energy resource plays a pivotal role in its international relations, particularly with Europe. The reliance on Russian oil and natural gas showcase the country's significant influence on the global energy market. Now, turning to our next speaker, what are the resources that the world uses the most that are very much needed from your country?
As for our country, South Sudan, it is still considered as a developing country. We are already known around the world with our export products, including petroleum, refined petroleum, golds, forage crops, barley, and many more. And since the majority of our population rely on agricultural farming, in the near future, by acquiring necessary machinery and equipment, we can maximize the production of agricultural products even during drought season, especially rice, to also export around the world.
Okay, absolutely. South Sudan's potential in agriculture is impressive. Acquiring modern equipment could truly transform its productivity. For my follow-up question, can I ask what steps in South Sudan taking to attract investment in agricultural machinery and infrastructure?
So we are working on improving policies to create a more favorable investment climate, including yung offering ng incentives for foreign investors and developing partnership with international organizations to fund and support agricultural projects. These efforts aim to modernize farming practices and boost production to enhance both local food security and export capacity.
What country receives most of your exports?
Most of our export goes to China with a approximate value of 37 million dollars. And next is Italy, wherein we have 141 million dollars, and other countries like Singapore, Japan, and UAE.
Could you elaborate on the specific initiatives and achievements your country has undertaken to contribute to each of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and how these efforts are shaping a more sustainable and equitable future?
So, for our country's national determined contribution to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, mostly focused on SDG 15, which is life on land. We all know it is all about agriculture when it comes to South Sudan. And by promoting sustainable forest management and expansion and health deforestation, target is 15.3, restore degraded land and combat desertification. Here, the main climate actions are related to afforestation and deforestation prevention. Aside from SDG 15, our country also contributes to the SDG 17, which is Partnership for the Goal, by our targets. And the target is 17.6, to enhance global cooperation, which are technology, science and innovation, and the target for 17.7, promote development and diffusion of environmental sustainable technologies to developing countries. And also, the main climate actions are related to technology transfer and promotion of sustainable technologies.
Impressive. I see that South Sudan mostly focused on SDG 15 and SDG 17. Now, Mr. Nino, could you share some key initiatives or strategies that Russia has implemented to contribute to the sustainable developmental goals?
The Russian Federation is committed to achieve the goals defined by the international community in the 2030 agenda. We have been making continued effort to implement the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDG, at the national level. This work has been done as a direct continuation of the activities in the framework of the Millennium Development Goals achievement. While the concept sustainable development was formulated and has become an integral part of the national development concept of Russian in 1996. In recent years, the Russian Federation has shown tangible progress for each of the individual SDGs. Among the most successful are SDG 1, poverty eradication, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. At the same time, a number of targets in a certain areas have yet to be achieved by the joint effort of the state, business, and the public.
It's inspiring to see Russia's dedication to achieving the sustainable development goals, particularly in areas like poverty eradication, quality education, and economic growth. Let's keep up the good work with Russia. Now, let's hear our forest and conservation about her country's contribution to the SDGs.
So, as the United States, we lead the charge in driving innovation and technological progress, especially in fields like information technology, biotechnology, renewable energy, and aerospace, which is aligned with the SDG number 9, which is the industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And through substantial investment with the research and development, fostering public-private partnerships, and implementation of supportive policies, we nurture the emergence of new industries and yung mga solutions na nagtatakal sa mga societal issues sa pag-foster sa sustainable development.
I have a question. Will you please state some current situations or problems that your country experience?
Yes, for South Sudan, here are some problems that our country is currently experiencing related to SDGs. There is zero hunger, gender inequality doesn't work, and economic growth. Also, there is sustainable cities and communities, life below water, peace, justice, and strong decision, partnership for the goal, and the challenges for us are affordable and clean energy and climate change.
Well, that's a lot of problem. So my next question is, what are the problems in the world that your country has given solution?
So for the United States has addressed various global challenges which are related sa mga natural resources at pakikinabang sa mga kasaganaan sa mga energy resources such as oil, natural gas, and renewable energy sources to provide solutions. And through advancement in technology and innovation, the US has contributed to energy security, environmental sustainability, and economic growth worldwide. Additionally, the initiatives that aims and conserve sustainable land management and biodiversity preservation, they parang nagpakita sila ng commitment ng US to address the global environmental issues.
While our country active renewable energy, oil, and natural gas, Russian main export are energy, like oil and petroleum product, gas, coal. Rolled steel, ferrous and non-ferrous metal and mineral. The greater part of Russian export belong to oil and petroleum products. Other leading export are natural gas, timber, fertilizers, machinery, and equipment armament.
Well, going back to our discussion, lately, Mr. Nino explained the problems and solution their country has given to the world. Now, my follow-up question is, how did you plan or think of the solution, and what are those solutions?
So for the US, as a forest and conservation technician in the US, we tackle global natural resource challenges through strategic collaboration, research, and innovation. So yun, we assess environmental issues and partner with government, sa mga non-profits and private sector para mag-create ng solutions such as yung sustainable forestry, renewable energy, conservation initiatives, and policy advocacy. And yun, we all know that education and outreach conservation initiatives and policy advocacy, kaya we combine the expertise and resource that we aim to reduce environmental degradation, promote conservation, and ensure sustainable resource for use for future generations.
Well, how about you, Mr. Nino Mercado?
While the Russian Federation submits in first voluntary national review or VNR on the implementation of the 2030 agenda. For this purpose, 17 thematic working groups have been established to address each of the SDG group, includes representative of the legislative branch, federal and regional executive bodies, municipal authorities, the Central Bank of Russia, development institution, civil society organization, research organization, as well the business community. More than 200 experts and more than 100 organizations has been participated in the preparation of the BNR. The draft review as well as its chapter have been subject to open public expert discussion. The preparation of the VNR made it possible to involve a wide range of stakeholders in the process of discussion on the document to establish fruitful dialogue between state, civil society, business, and academia, study and take on board different opinion on the SDGs, ensure broad public interest to the implementation of the 2030 agenda and the SDGs, conduct in-depth analysis of the consistency between national goals and the objectives of the 2030 agenda, the agenda and the SDG, and evaluate the interim result of the progress in their implementation. That's
So,
it.
yan, ano? It is great to hear about the extensive and exclusive efforts in preparing the VNR. It's encouraging to see such a broad engagement and thorough analysis in aligning national goals with the SDGs. Now, let us focus on Miss Jessica. Do you think that we can achieve the 17 SDGs by 2030?
So, for as a first world country, I believe that United States possesses the resources, expertise, and innovative capacity to make a substantial progress towards achieving the 17 sustainable goals by 2030. So, malaking hangarin man na ma-fully achieve yung lahat ng mga SDGs within the time frame, but through the efforts of the government, mga businesses, civil society, and communities, we can drive a meaningful advancement, prioritizing sustainable development, investment sa mga infrastructures, inclusive growth, social equality, and climate action will contribute significantly. And achieving these goals requires strong leadership, collaboration, and sustained commitment para sa sustainability ng mga policies and resource allocation.
Is the implementation of the 17 SDG effective in your country?
Wait. Kaya Bangkay, how do they? Tama ba? Sige, cut na lang.
Sorry, bad. Kailangan ko pang ilang seconds bago kaya kayo. How do they execute their plans in order to achieve the goal of the SDGs?
So the United States requires a comprehensive strategy to achieve the 17 SDGs. So this includes the integrating the SDGs into national policies, fostering partnership, investing in education and awareness, and leveraging technology for monitoring. So by aligning the government efforts, mobilizing resources, and empowering individuals, we aim to drive progress towards the SDGs by 2030. So commitment to sustainability, collaboration, and innovation is essential for addressing the global challenges and ensuring a prosperous and equitable future for all.
Okay. Is the implementation of the 17 SDG effective in your country?
I believe implementing the 17 SDGs in the United States can effectively promote environmental conservation and sustainable resource management. So yung mga goals na ito offers a framework to address climate change, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem degradation. And by aligning our efforts sa mga SDGs, we can enhance the production, of natural or protection of natural habitats, which promotes sustainable land use and safeguards biodiversity. So by embracing the SDGs, fosters collaboration, innovation, and collective action for a resilient and sustainable future for all and the planet.
Thank you for your insight, such informative and clear information. So my next question is, do you think we can achieve the 17 SDGs by 2030, Mr. Nino? What are your thoughts in here? I think Mr. Nino did not hear us, so I will repeat my question, Mr. Nino. Do you think we can achieve the 17 SDGs by 2030? So what are your thoughts here?
I'm sorry, I'm muted. Achieving all 17 Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 is highly ambitious. While there has been progress in areas like poverty reduction and education, significant challenges remain, particularly in climate change action and equality. The COVID-19 pandemic has also set back effort, exacerbating issues like poverty and health disparities. Achieving the SDG requires substantial funding, resources, and international cooperation. Given this obstacle, making significant progress is more realistic than fully achieving all goals by 2030. And that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, thank you. But may I ask, is the implementation of 17 Sustainable Development Goals effective in your country?
About that, all I can say is that other SDG are effective while the others focus on difficult issues and situations like climate change, which are now difficult to handle. As a result, although certain SDG are helpful while other are not yet.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nino. Now, may I ask Miss Jessica, what is your country's biggest contribution to the world's economy?
So as a forest and conservation technician, I see that United States' most significant contribution to the world's economy rooted in its natural resources, particularly sa mga energy reserves. So sa pamamagitan ng mga reservoir of oil, natural gas, and renewable energy like sources like yung wind and yung solar power, the US naging siyang parang global leader sa energy production, which strengthened the global energy security and stability. So the nation's extensive potential for renewable energy also positions it is as a crucial player sa mga pagtitransition to a sustainable, low carbon future, and yun, by utilizing these natural resources, the US powers its economy and drives global economic growth by supplying energy to other nations.
Thank you, Miss Jessica. What about Mr. Nino? What is your country's biggest contribution to the world's economy?
Our country main goals in contributing to the 17 SDG centers around environment sustainability. The country aims to address climate change, conserve biodiversity, and ensure the sustainable management of natural resources. Key initiatives include climate action, life on land, clean water, and sanitation.
Now, may we ask South Sudan, Miss Liana May Torres, to answer the question.
Yes, our country's biggest contribution to the world's economy in the agriculture sectors include its potential for large-scale agriculture due to the vast arable land and favorable climate conditions. our country has significant potential in producing crops such as sorghum, maize, and sesame, which can contribute to the regional food security and international markets as the sector develops.
Thank you for all your insights. It's fascinating to hear how the US and the Russia are leveraging their natural resources and committing to sustainability. From the US leadership in energy and production and renewable sources to Russia's focus on climate action and biodiversity. Both nations plays a pivotal role in driving global progress towards the sustainable development goals. It's clear that international cooperation and innovative strategies will be crucial as we work towards a more sustainable and prosperous future. Now, for Miss Jessica, what can make your country different from others?
So the United States stand out among the first world countries due to its significant contributions to advancing the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs through its innovation-driven economy, culture diversity, and global leadership.
Can you highlight specific examples of how the United States leverage its innovation-driven economy and cultural diversity to advance the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly in the context of forest conservation and sustainable resource management?
So certainly, the United States leverages its innovation-driven economy by developing cutting-edge technologies for sustainable forestry practices and renewable energy solutions. And additionally, cultural diversity fosters a wide range of perspectives and approaches, enhancing community-based conservation initiatives and educational outreach programs that promote sustainable and resource management.
Thank you, Miss Jessica. What about Mr. Nino? What does make your country different from other countries?
About our country, Russia retained the leading position in the term of progress toward SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, while Canada was the worst performer.
It's impressive to see the Russia leading in progress toward SDG 12 on responsible consumption and production. This sets a strong example for other nations. What specific policies or initiatives have been mostly effective in helping Russia achieve this leading position in SDG 12?
Key initiatives include stringent regulation on waste management, promoting circular economy practices, and invest in sustainable production technologies. Additionally, public awareness campaign and collaboration with businesses have played a crucial role in driving responsible consumption and production.
So, for our last question for this podcast, for our agriculturists from South Sudan, what can make your country different from the other country?
So, as we all know, South Sudan is more on agriculture, and this sets us apart because because its vast, fertile arable land and favorable climate conditions, which offer immense potential for large-scale agriculture. And additionally, our country's commitment to sustainable practices and investment in modern agriculture techniques can lead to significant growth and productivity. South Sudan's focused on developing its agriculture infrastructure and engaging local communities in farming initiatives also contributes to its unique position in the global agricultural landscape.
So, thank you so much to all our guests for sharing their insights on sustainable development today. We've covered a lot of ground, from South Sudan's agricultural potential and conservation efforts in the US to Russia's leadership in responsible consumption and production, it is clear that each country has unique strengths and contributions to the global effort towards sustainability.
Absolutely, partner. A special thank to our guests, the agriculturists from South Sudan, our forest and conservation expert from the United States, and the commodity trader from Russia. Your expertise and experiences have provided us with a deeper understanding of how different regions are tackling the sustainable development goals. Let's continue to support and learn from each other as we work toward a more sustainable future.
Yes, remember, sustainability is a shared journey, and every step forward counts. Thank you for tuning into our podcast. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.
And if you have any questions, suggestions, or violent reactions, just comment down below. Goodbye, everyone, and keep
Bye.
making a difference.